Hi everyone, it's Linda Esposito from Be Clear with Bronchiectasis. Today we're going to talk about taking environmental precautions. So what do I mean by that? Many of us who have bronchiectasis are more susceptible to bacteria that is in the showers, in the form of vapor, or even in drinking water. So how does the bacteria from the drinking water get into our lungs? Through aspiration. So we reflux. Even if you've been tested and don't have a problem, everyone refluxes. From what I understand, up to 30 some odd times a day is actually considered normal. So we pretty much have to assume that we're going to have some reflux, even if we don't have a serious issue. And that's why some of us like to take precautions around drinking water. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do this. I'm suggesting that you discuss it with your clinician and decide what would work best for you. But this is what I do. I use a LifeStraw pitcher. I've used it for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 5 years now. And I think it's the best thing for me. Some people like to boil their water to kill the bacteria. They boil their water, I think, for 10 minutes. You know, I live in a small New York City apartment. It's 900 square feet. Right now I'm filming in my bedroom. And you know, it doesn't appeal to me to turn our little kitchen into a health clinic with pots and pots of water for drinking and what have you. So instead, I use a LifeStraw pitcher. Has it been a perfect solution? Perhaps not. Do I feel it gets the job done? Do I feel it kills bacteria? Yes, I do. And so I'm just going to give it to you in a nutshell now, because I'm actually finding that people seem to appreciate shorter videos. And if this is a conversation that you would like to have, just book a consultation with me and we can talk about it in detail, and also just talk about the overarching issue of environmental precautions. So this is a LifeStraw pitcher. It comes in this box. Filters bacteria and parasites. And this one is plastic. And I'm happy to see now that they have this rubber bottom that comes with it. I actually think that could have been from us making that suggestion, because in the past there was an issue with some cracking along the bottom seam. You know, when you put the glass or the plastic pitcher down, you know, there's some vibrations. Certainly when it fills up with water, there's some pressure. So there was some cracking, and I found that by purchasing the rubber bumper on the bottom, it made a big difference. But now I see they're including it, which is what I think is a very good move. So the way this works is, well, this is my pitcher. You'll see I took it out of my refrigerator. And the way it works is there are 2 filters inside. So this is the big filter that filters out the bacteria. So this one traps the NTM and other bacteria. And then there's another filter. This is an information card that comes with it. And there's another filter that traps heavy metals. So I should say, after filtering out the bacteria, this carbon filter traps heavy metals and makes the water taste better. So people might be like, well, I thought Linda told us not to use Brita filters or carbon filters. Yes, I have told you that, because according to Dr. Falkenham, who is an NTM microbiologist, bacteria grows on carbon. It's a food source. So no, we don't want to use a Brita filter. But as I explained, first the bacteria is trapped in this big guy, and then it is filtered to make it taste better. Some people remove this. I don't. I like my water to taste good. I leave it in. And I guess the real issue with this has been maintenance. How do you maintain this pitcher? What do you really need to do? Initially, they were saying just change the big filter, and actually it might still be the guidance now, change the big filter once a year. You don't need to open the housing. You could just weekly take the housing out, clean around with a bottle scrub brush, give it a good cleaning. Some people put it in the dishwasher. If you're going to put it in your dishwasher, make sure you get the size that will fit in your dishwasher. So either there's a 7 cup and there's a 10 cup. So you really, if you want the 10 cup and you want to put it in your dishwasher, test it to see if in fact it will, look at the dimensions and see if it in fact it will fit. So once a week we take it out, we just take the housing out, we scrub around and we put it back. Then every 2 months this little guy needs to be replaced. That was clear and that's consistent and that is what I do. But as I said, they were suggesting once a year to switch this out. However, we were also getting other information. Initially, a very simple YouTube video was put up, just like I said, cleaning it lightly, and that's all you had to do all year. Then this other video was put up of taking the whole thing apart and I think using bleach for the filter, and it was just wow, like opposite ends of the spectrum. So I'm a centrist and I came up with a system that works for me and perhaps will work for you. I follow their advice. I change this every 2 months. But what I do is every 4 months, so when I'm changing this as well, I also swap out the filter, the bigger filter. And I do this because I just think it's a good thing to do, okay? It's not based on any evidence whatsoever. But if you look inside the housing, you'll see there's like stuff on the walls of the interior of the housing. It supposedly doesn't matter because all the water is being filtered through here. But you know what? The optics aren't good. I don't like it. So every 4 months, I swap this out. I'm not going to wait a year. And sometimes I'll alter it depending on a travel schedule. If we know we're going to be away for a couple months or what have you, I might just tweak it a little bit based on that. So swapping this filter out 3 times a year instead of once a year just makes me feel more confident. I'm not going to put this in bleach to bleach it or do any of that stuff. But what I will do is when I do swap this one out, I take the whole thing apart. I scrub it, I put it in the dishwasher, and I feel it's super clean then. Could you do that every 2 months? Yes, and maybe I will in the future, but it is a little challenging to get the bottom of the housing off. You almost have to use a butter knife to kind of push it out because the bottom doesn't really screw on, you have to push it out. So it's a little bit of a hassle, but I do feel very confident using it. And I have been in touch with the CEO of the company. I found her to be very responsive. So right now, there might be those who want to boil. It's not an issue. You have a large kitchen. It works for you. But this is what works for me. I really think it makes my life a lot simpler. Okay, so that's all about the LifeStraw and taking precautions with drinking water. Again, if you have any questions, let's book a consultation. We'll talk about it. I'll lay it out for you, let you know what your options are so you can discuss them with your care team. Please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. Take care. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye.